You're talking about history. You've been together a very long time. How would you say, what has changed since the beginning, perhaps also in the punk rock movement and in the culture?
I think a lot has changed, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that actually, there is a pretty solid understanding of what this community is about at this point. I mean, when we started and we were like young kids in our scene in Pittsburgh, like there were like Nazis in the punk scene, That doesn't exist anymore. Like we drove that out, because we didn't want that fucking bullshit in our scene. We wanted a scene based on equality and respect and people taking care of one another and working to make the world a better place. And so, now you go to a punk show, like that's pretty understood. And I think that has a lot to do with like the last generation of bands that kind of set a standard and said, hey, this is what this is about. And if you don't believe in that, you're not welcome here. Yeah. And that was really important. And I think that it's important now. We see this rise of a neo-fascism around the world. I think it's more than ever important to stand up and make that statement and let that be known. What we stand for in the world that we're fighting for. Mm-hmm.
And I think on a superficial level, a lot has changed because of the internet. We were talking about this just last night because we're releasing new music, and someone asked us, is it harder to perform new music now because you've got this catalog of songs that people want to hear, and then you play a new song for them, and does it kill the vibe of the show? And honestly, I mean, when we first started touring, there was no internet, so you needed people to actually own a physical copy of your album to know what your band sounded like and what your songs were. So we've been playing songs for people that don't know what they are for a really long time. We've had a lot of practice in that. For a lot of people in newer bands that maybe have one album that they streamed on the internet and then the next album is coming out, I'm sure that's an uncomfortable experience for them. But because we had to travel all over the globe, hoping that there was a record store in that city that sold our record. Having having the internet now, I mean, people have access to our ideas and our art instantaneously. So that's a big difference from where we started to where we are now. Mm-hmm.